part two. Part two, yeah, part two, how to be the ultimate badass GM instead of GMing like a nerd. We're going right back to immersion. We're going right back to credibility of your world. Players, screw them, kill them, get rid of them. Your dumbass players, for some reason, were tasked by some other kingdom or some other place, some other city-state, whatever, to do X, and it's of utmost political importance. They're terrible. They should have never been assigned the mission that they were assigned. They're not worthy of it. They're a bunch of Leroy Jenkins, unimaginative idiots, and they're just not good players. So your terrible, awful players have been tasked with a mission of the utmost political importance. And they make their way to this other kingdom on a Rohan to Gondor mission, and they go into the royal court, and they're terrible, and they're totally stupid, and they fail every conceivable method of manipulation or persuasion or influence. And so they go to the charm spell or whatever, like the little easy mode spells, and they fail because obviously they're bad, and I'm not just gonna let my NPCs get rolled over in that way. So now what's gonna happen? First of all, when you come in, you're probably not even armed. And you best believe that she has like 6 high-level guards behind her, trained their entire life, handpicked to protect the queen from stupid idiots like your players. And so what's going to happen now? She's just going to stand up with a fury that people have not seen in that court for generations. And before she can even yell, seize them, the guards are just going to come over and just wrench you up, drag you away, beat the hell out of you, and then throw you in the dungeon. And guess what? Now the campaign is different. Now you're not on a campaign of political importance. Now we're going to spend the rest of the night in the dungeon. And while you're tied up to the wall, getting like, after they're done like whipping you or whatever, and you're talking to the other idiots in the dungeon, and they're there for thievery, and they're there for whatever, murder, and you're explaining why you're there, and you're like, oh, I tried to mind control the queen in front of literally everybody, because we're creatively bankrupt and literally just stupid players who are used to playing in dumb games with bad GMs. And now we're here. And we're lucky we didn't get just our head chopped off right away, which is also an option depending on what kind of kingdom you're into. But dungeon immediately, and now what? Maybe a trial the week after if you can come up with anything even clever for, but pretty much just starting a new campaign, because guess what? That one's done. You're never getting out of that dungeon. In fact, maybe like 8 months, when everybody comes over to play the game, we'll just revisit them for like 5 minutes and check up on their malnourished, dying bodies as they're just strapped up to the wall like a Far Side comic, you know, getting tortured every day for literally being the stupidest people on the face of the planet. I hate to break it to you, but that's immersion. The credibility of your world trumps players because it survives characters. So you don't just break your world for the benefit of a character, because that's done. Immersion, credibility of your world, these are the absolute most important facets of GM game. If you're not going to bring immersion, then your game is going to be super cringy. So you need to be cringy for like 5 minutes going into GM mode, and then you're not cringy anymore and you just have them. And everybody is sucked into it, and they're playing a game with consequences, where if they act stupid, they're going to get killed. And in some games where it takes a long time to make a character, people stop acting stupid, especially if the game is delivering beyond their stupid decision making. So, you know what? Bad GMs create bad players. They create Leroy Jenkins that ruin the game for other people, but you have to stand by the immersion. Otherwise, maybe you just execute them if it's like a newbie, but you bring people into a party that maybe has existed for like 3-4 years, finally got somewhere in a difficult world. You bring a new player in, and they're used to, you know, GM, go allow it, very cool, whatever. And you Leroy Jenkins the party, and now you got to kill everybody. And that's what these GMs create. It's garbage, it's trash. That's why RPG is dumb. Like and subscribe. Millions and millions of content, millions and billions of content. How to be the ultimate GM instead of GMing like an absolute nerd.